welcome. I'd like to call the meeting to order, and if we would all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have one action item for tonight, and we'll introduce Mr. Randy Harris.
Thank you. The last board meeting, we presented the contract and really presented both the things that we took out of the old contract and things where we're adding into the contract. Tonight, really what the only business we have is the contract before you, so I'm just going to cover about 2 or 3 things that we have in the contract so you know what's there, and I'll take it from that point. But if you go to page, I think it's about 6, yep, page 6, because the main things that we changed really were simply the contract items for the benefit of all. There in section A under the salary and benefit plan, we are going to be recommending, the tentative agreement is to increase the salaries, the base salaries going from $39,000, or will begin at $39,000 and will top out at $70,500. What it really means to the teachers is that any teacher that is currently an employee that started the school year with us with the old plan of $500 less, they're going to get $500 for this year. And then going below that, any teacher that was with us last year during the 1920 school year that they taught for 120 days or more, we are also, and as long as they are effective or highly effective, we are recommending that they're going to get an additional $500. So the normal teacher that has been here in Fayette County for the last year is going to result in a $1,000 pay raise to their contract. Moving on then, the other, probably the biggest item that we did and debated on and negotiated on is on page 8 under section E, called the Online Stipend. This is a one-time stipend for this year, for the 2021 school year, and what it is we as a school district are committed $90,000 into a pot of money that will be allocated to teachers that are being asked to teach both online and with students in front of them at the same time. So we understand there's a lot more work involved in that, there's a lot more planning that goes involved with that. So what we agreed to is that any teacher that taught both ways during the first 9 weeks, we would allocate $45,000 for that, and they would split it between those teachers. There's a little bit over 100 teachers that did that type of teaching the first 9 weeks. We expect as the school year goes on that 2 things. Number one, we will have less students online, therefore there will be less teachers teaching online, as well as the fact that teachers are getting better at it as they get more accustomed to it. So that pot also will decrease as the year goes on. During the second 9 weeks, we have allocated $27,000 to be split among the teachers that are doing it during the second 9 weeks. And then for the both third and the fourth 9 weeks, we are allocating $9,000 to each of those to be split among those. One other caveat in there is if we should get to the point of there are no teachers teaching both ways, that pot of money then would be split among all teachers within the school district. So we have put in the $90,000. That's going to go to teachers regardless of the situation. So we've tried to account for both factors of doing both, or what happens if we shut down for the whole 9 weeks. That also would result in that $9,000 then being split among the teachers. So that's probably the most complicated one, and we went round and round on it, not contentiously, but we went round and round just trying to make sure that they got what they wanted and that we were clear on it. So we feel really good about the language there within that one. Then the rest of the contract is pretty much the same. The only other change really on page 10, and that is that for insurance purposes, our insurance rates are going to go up approximately 2% beginning January 1, and we agreed to increase the increase the benefit amount on both the individual coverage and the family coverage, taking care of our portion of the insurance as we have done in the past. So that also is an increase of funds going towards the insurance coverage.
What percentage do we cover out of the total premium?
It varies depending on family and individual. I want to say, I don't know that I calculate.
It's about 85.
It's about 85 to 86%.
range is what we
Corporation
pay.
covers?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's over 80%. I think it may have been like 83% for individual,
The average is
86, but
85,
it's about
86,
85% as an average.
Okay.
Very good.
Yeah.
So we're very competitive with what we
Yeah.
contribute.
Since so.
Yes.
And that's always been the case,
Yeah.
at least for 40 years in our corporation.
Yeah,
very
that's great.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that health coverage, particularly if you have any kind of catastrophic illness or a child with something, that is worth far more than a pay raise. Because you know how much that's going to cost you, so, yeah, the health coverage, unfortunately, it just keeps going up and up and up and up and up.
And I did a study, I shared that with the board about how competitive we are in the region, and we are very competitive, and our insurance contributions are higher than almost every district in East Central Indiana
Yeah.
from the board's contribution, so that's significant
Yes.
with what we do.
So that's really all I have. But if there are any questions or anything else you would like to ask me about, I'd be more than happy to answer this. And, you know, I guess I want to thank the teachers union. I thought they came well prepared to the negotiation table. Thought the give and take went very well. Obviously, Scott was involved with it. Mike Cirkler really did most of the speaking for us. I want to thank Mike for his help. But this is the first time I've went through a contract negotiation here. I've been through it multiple times in other school districts, but I thought it was just a good, fair process for everybody. Both sides listened to the other side. That's probably a lot more important than talking to the other side either way. And I was very pleased with the teachers and the way they presented all of this, and I thought our team did a good job also. I would probably need to be reprimanded if I also didn't thank some board members, but I know Lori was here a couple of nights. Leslie also sat in on those, so thank the board members for their giving more time to the students here in Fayette County. So thank you.
There was one other change that was removed. It was a 3-page piece, I think, on
That was what-
the early retirement bridge. I just want to put that on record too. That has phased out after all these years, so that early retirement bridge was last year, so we removed that. But it was a good process, and I appreciate everybody involved. We have a good collaborative, I think, spirit among our teachers and with us. So thanks, Randy. Appreciate your work on that.
Okay, any more comments or anything? Okay, I think we're ready for.
Any patron comments?
Any patron comments?
No.
Go to the order.
Yes.
Got a lot of nice new red signs around the complex out here.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes,
They look great.
yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
And serving the
Absolutely.
public, letting them know where everything's at when they come in.
Right.
They
Because
look nice.
a lot of people were really confused as to how they needed to sign out their child. Where do we go do this now? Because when they've been doing it this way for 4 years, and they're not doing it that way anymore. And the feedback has been really good
Good.
on the new area and how secure it is, and just general availability, because you don't have to walk so far to go get a child signed out or have them leave, so.
Our campus can be a little intimidating for people when they're not aware of it.
Right.
And that's been the case with the campus that we have, but those signs, I think, help a lot, and the new entrance, I think, helps a lot.
Took a while. There's been a lot of COVID delays with even those signs, but they were just installed and they look great. So I appreciate you mentioning that, Mark. So.
Yeah, and the side of the building where the new field house is, lit up at night, is just
Yeah.
really cool.
It's a secure campus, the courtyard and everything, which is really important too. So we had a safety committee meeting today, and
that's such a big difference with our kids self-contained in that courtyard switching classes, so that's great. So I know we got off track a little.
No,
bit.
you're okay. Okay. All right, we're ready to make a motion for the approval of the Fayette County School Corporation, the AFL-CIO Teacher Collective Bargaining Agreement for the 2020-21 year. Could I have a motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Mark.
I'll
Second.
second.
And thank you. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Those opposed? Seeing none, motion carried. Okay. And I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Chris. Second.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carried. We are adjourned.